This was Mr. Masterson's favorite room in the house. So if we take time to study the Baroque era, we can also learn about Mr. Masterson. Now, what do you think he studied in college? The answer is quite obvious. He studied English at Rice University. What's the first thing you notice about this room? It would probably be the bright orange, contrasting, which is also something that is quite obvious in the painting as well. One of the main elements of the Baroque style is a heavy contrast between light and dark. Now, if we want to understand why, these wall sconces were made for just George of Hanover, right before he became King George the First of England. These were made in about 1570, I believe. And how would you describe these? I would describe these as Gothic, maybe, ornate, because of how much detail is packed into such a small piece. It's very fascinating. But I would definitely say these are also functional. You don't have light in this time, in the 1500s, you don't have electricity. This technique is called repose. Basically, they take a tiny little hammer, and from the back they would like indent, and they were able to create such like the symmetry on these things is absolutely amazing, because it was done with just that tiny hammer in someone's work. And the candle, and it's lumifying the room, but it's also like doing the sharp contrast thing. Think about it. So because this is your only lighting system, yeah, there is a sharp contrast. Like this part is probably very bright, but the rest of the room, I imagine, will be very dark, which is why we can see, which is why it makes sense that there's such a sharp contrast here, because think of the lighting that they actually had. Like this was done around 1670 during the Catholic Counter-Reformation. They look, this is supposed to be baby Jesus, but they take off his halo and they remove the staff of Joseph and like religious elements, and now it just looks like a grandfather and his son being cherished. So that was the goal of the Catholic Counter-Reformation. But during the Baroque era, so now we know what this was painted, but we can also see like this contrast. It's also replicated again there's another contrast here. Can anyone notice what it's in? Let's compare it to this painting. This painting was done 20 years prior, and they're both using orange, first of all, wrapped around babies. So there's that significance of orange, but they're also sharing this it's like a sharp contrast again between seriousness and playfulness. And it's just something you don't really think twice about, because let's look at these together. Okay, now we can see it looks so simple, but it's another form of contrast, a sharp contrast between, you know, like the maturity of children versus how they're being portrayed at that time. Like this guy is not more than, like, he doesn't know how to read, I bet, but he like, it looks as if he's the manor, like he owns the manor, you know, like based on the way he's dressed. And it's just something just like, oh, okay, so that's just how it was. But it's like, no, they are using these elements, these contrasts, to achieve a heaviness. Like these are just like styles that characterize the Baroque era, which is just like important.